From Season 4, Episode 7 is one of the most important episodes of the season so far. While previous episodes focused on mysteries, visions, and attempts to understand the strange forces controlling the town, this chapter pushes several storylines forward at once and delivers a shocking ending that changes how viewers may look at the monsters, the man in yellow, and even Fatima's role in the larger story. By the end of the episode, one character appears to gain a unique connection to the supernatural forces surrounding the town. Another narrowly escapes death, and the man in yellow reveals a frightening new ability that suggests the residents are facing something even more dangerous than they originally believed. The episode begins with the town still struggling to process the revelations from recent events. Tensions are growing because people are desperate for answers, yet every clue seems to create even more confusion. Boyd, Jade, Tabitha, and several others have spent months trying to understand why they are trapped in this place and how everything connects. Although they have uncovered pieces of the puzzle, they still do not have a complete picture. One of the biggest developments involves the information surrounding Jade and Tabitha. The idea that they may have a deeper connection to the history of the town is no longer something that can be ignored. More people are becoming aware of the strange similarities between their experiences and events from the past. This revelation creates divisions among the residents. Some believe the information may finally help them discover a path home. Others see it as just another theory that will ultimately lead nowhere. Henry struggles more than anyone with what he learns. His emotional state continues to deteriorate as he attempts to reconcile everything he has discovered. For him, the possibility that the town's history is repeating itself is deeply disturbing. Rather than bringing comfort or understanding, these discoveries make him question everything he thought he knew. Throughout the episode, the town feels increasingly unstable. Characters who once seemed confident are now second-guessing themselves. The atmosphere becomes more oppressive as everyone realizes they may be closer to the truth than ever before. Unfortunately, getting closer to the truth seems to attract the attention of whatever force controls the town. A major theme in Episode 7 is the idea that the town actively reacts whenever the residents make progress. Every attempt to challenge the rules is met with resistance. Every breakthrough is followed by another terrifying setback. Boyd continues to search for ways to gain an advantage over the monsters. As the town's leader, he understands that simply surviving is no longer enough. The residents need answers, and they need a way to fight back. However, the events of this episode suggest that the enemy is evolving. The most fascinating storyline involves Fatima. Ever since her disturbing pregnancy and the horrifying birth that followed, Fatima has existed at the center of one of the show's strangest mysteries. The creature that emerged from her was clearly not human, and its existence raised countless questions about how deeply the town's evil can influence people. For several episodes, Fatima has struggled with guilt, fear, and uncertainty. She has wondered whether she is somehow responsible for what happened, and whether she has become permanently connected to the darkness surrounding the town. Episode 7 finally provides a partial answer. As events unfold, it becomes increasingly clear that Fatima's connection to the creature still exists. The bond between them was not broken after the birth. Instead, some form of supernatural link remains active. This discovery becomes critically important during the episode's most suspenseful sequence. Kenny finds himself facing what appears to be certain death. Kenny has endured countless tragedies since the series began. He has lost loved ones, watched friends die, and repeatedly put himself in danger to protect others. In Episode 7, it seems as though his luck has finally run out. The situation quickly spirals into chaos as danger closes in from multiple directions. The tension is heightened by the way the episode cuts between different storylines, making it feel as though disaster is about to strike everywhere at once. Kenny becomes trapped in a scenario that appears impossible to escape. The monsters are closing in, and there seems to be no realistic way for him to survive. For a moment, the episode genuinely feels like it is preparing viewers for the death of one of its most important characters. Instead, the story takes an unexpected turn. Fatima discovers that her connection to the creature allows her to influence it. Through that bond, she somehow interferes with the attack and prevents Kenny from becoming another victim. The exact mechanics of this ability remain unclear, but the implications are enormous. Until now, the residents have mostly been powerless against the supernatural forces controlling the town. They could hide from the monsters and occasionally outsmart them, but they rarely had any direct influence over them. Fatima's actions suggest that this may be changing. If she truly has the ability to communicate with, control, or manipulate the creature connected to her, she could become one of the most important people in the town. What initially appeared to be a curse may actually provide a weapon against the forces threatening everyone. Of course, that possibility comes with obvious dangers. The stronger Fatima's connection becomes, the greater the risk that the darkness could influence her in return. The show has repeatedly demonstrated that every gift in this town comes with a terrible price. The final act of the episode shifts attention toward the man in yellow. Ever since his introduction, the man in yellow has been presented as one of the most mysterious figures in the series. Unlike the monsters that roam at night, he appears connected to a deeper layer of the town's mythology. Many viewers have suspected that he possesses powers beyond anything previously shown. Episode 7 confirms those suspicions. Following Roger's death, it initially appears that his story has reached its conclusion. Death has always carried significant weight in From, and Roger seems destined to become another casualty of the town's endless cruelty. Then the impossible happens. The man in yellow intervenes. Rather than allowing Roger to remain dead, he reanimates the body. However, what emerges is not simply Roger brought back to life. The result appears to be a transformed version of him, something caught between human and monster. This shocking moment completely changes the stakes. Previously, the monsters appeared to follow a specific set of rules. They hunted, manipulated emotions, and terrorized the residents. But their nature seemed relatively consistent. Roger's transformation suggests that those rules may no longer apply. If the man in yellow can create entirely new monsters from dead humans, then the threat facing the town is far greater than anyone realized. The transformation also raises questions about the purpose of the town itself. Why are people being trapped here? Why are the monsters hunting them? What role does the man in yellow play in all of this? One possibility is that the town functions as a kind of experiment or breeding ground. The residents may not simply be victims. They may be resources being used to create something new. Roger's transformation provides the strongest evidence yet that the supernatural forces behind the town are actively evolving. Another disturbing possibility is that death is no longer an escape. Throughout the series, characters have feared being killed by the monsters. Episode 7 introduces a fate that may be even worse. Instead of dying, victims could potentially be transformed into servants of the very force that destroyed them. This possibility gives the ending an especially horrifying tone. The episode's title, Best Laid Plans, takes on additional meaning when viewed through this lens. Nearly every character spends the episode attempting to take control of their situation. They share information, develop strategies, and search for answers. Yet every plan ultimately collides with a force that appears several steps ahead. The residents are trying to solve the mystery. The town is adapting. The residents are searching for weaknesses. The enemy is becoming stronger. By the end of the episode, the balance of power has shifted dramatically. Fatima's connection to the creature offers a small glimmer of hope, proving that the supernatural forces can potentially be influenced from within. At the same time, the man in yellow's actions demonstrate that the enemy possesses abilities far beyond what anyone imagined. The ending leaves viewers with several major questions heading into the next episode. Can Fatima learn to control her connection before it controls her? Will Kenny's survival have larger consequences? What exactly is Roger now? Why does the man in yellow need transformed humans? And perhaps most importantly, If the monsters are evolving, what new horrors might be waiting for the town? Episode 7 does not provide all the answers, but it successfully changes the direction of the season. The mystery is no longer just about escape. It is now about understanding a force capable of reshaping life, death, and the very nature of humanity itself. As the season moves toward its final episodes, the residents appear closer than ever to uncovering the truth. Unfortunately, the closer they get, the more dangerous the town becomes. If episode 7 proves anything, it is that every revelation comes with a price, and that price may soon be paid by everyone trapped inside this nightmare.